This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Oh, I let a little blip in there, Wes. It was just a little foreshadowing of who was on the show tonight. Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr. Wasn't sure about Max. He must be working tonight because he is not with us tonight. But Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr with you for a Wednesday night LowcoSports Lowdown, summertime edition. Living's easy in the Lowcountry, but we do have some, youth baseball going on. Still, the Diamond Youth State Tournament still going on. 8U wrapped up yesterday. With an epic day. Hilton Head won in 15 innings in game one and then lost in 6 innings, the traditional 6 innings in game two to Blythewood in 2 really well played games. AU baseball is a different breed, but it was a lot of fun. And they both played exceptionally well on defense and kept that first game going and going and going. It was 1-1 in like the 4th, and then it was that until the 12th, and then it was 2-2, and then it was 3-3 in the 14th, and then 4-3 in the 15th. So it was crazy stuff. But good night for Hilton Head tonight. The 10 and under All-Stars stayed undefeated with a win over Greer, and the Ozone team is up 7-2 over Greer in the 4th. Looking for their 4th straight win after losing their first game of the tournament. So they are both trying to get into the championship game. Hilton Head's win in Ozone would force that situation where you've got 3 teams with 1 loss, and you got to draw. They all would have played the same number of games.
Well, I think
so it would be a draw.
Is who won between Clinton and Delmay? Because
Delmay did.
Okay, right. Because I think if
they all have the same number.
Fewer games. So if Clinton would have won, there would be fewer games. But since Delmay won, it would be, now it's going to be, if Hilton hangs on, it would be a 3-way draw from 5.
Correct. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. So, and they're looking good, 7-2 going to the bottom of the 4th. So still got work to do, but in good shape. And the 10 and under stayed undefeated with a 4-1 win over Greer. They will play Blythewood again tomorrow. They beat them last night, and Blythewood will have to beat Hilton Head twice in the minors tournament up in West Columbia. So looking pretty good to slide at least one Hilton Head team through as state champs, and possibly 2. So they're in good shape. But we're going to talk a little hoops tonight. We've got Robbie B and Alex Percival on with us tonight to talk a little bit of hoops here in just a minute. But what you been getting into the last couple of days, Wes? I know you've been on Game Changer a lot like me, keeping track of these baseball games.
Keeping out of the heat as much as I can in the fall. I was following that 8U game intensely the other day, and man, when I saw they got that first one, 15 innings, I thought they were gonna get the second one easily. I didn't think that Blythewood. I didn't think they had much left in the tank after that. I mean, emotionally, physically, I cannot believe they were able to recover and win that second game. He tested it for them and the coaching staff, but just 2 incredible games of baseball, and Hilton had brought the tying run to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. They almost got shut out. I mean, it took until like the 5th inning to get a run on the board, and then they had a chance in the 6th. They got that. The first out they made, I believe, if I followed it correctly on Game Changer, it was scores a single and out advancing to second. You could have just
it was a ground ball in the infield. Throw got away at first. It's almost an automatic send. They got to make a perfect play. And I think he would have been safe, except the umpire said he never got to the bag. I think the second baseman's foot was, in front of the bag when he was catching the ball. And, at that age, you haven't quite learned how to slide around a tag necessarily. And I think he slid right into the kid's foot, and he just never made it to the bag.
Okay.
That was the way it looked from where I was standing. Okay. So it was just one of those deals. They made a good play. They got him. But yeah, hindsight being 20/20, you'd love to have him on first, but getting that guy to second is so huge at that age because it takes that force play away. And
true.
You almost absolutely score him on a hit to the outfield. It was the right play. They just made a great play on defense and got him. But that did really impact
defense. I mean, tremendous.
They made a ton of good plays.
Getting that close to a shutout with I don't know how many times they struck out, but it must have been not very much.
Not many. No.
I mean, just defense impeccable for Blythewood. Yeah. Especially after coming back and having to play a 15 game. Like these are 7-8-year-old kids.
Oh, they were, yeah.
That's incredible.
And both those teams were really strong on defense. Blythewood was maybe a little bit better because they had two athletes playing up the middle in the outfield. Like they had a guy. I asked their coach. I was like, those guys look like infielders playing in the outfield. He said, yeah, the one used to be our first baseman and the other one used to be our second baseman, but we were struggling in the outfield, so we moved them out there, and they just caught everything. I mean, when guys hit ropes up the middle, they're caught because you have an athlete out there who can range.
Right.
So, but apparently the rookie ball thing that's coming to Walterboro
home
in
run
a couple
for
weeks
Greer
is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Greer cut into the lead 7-4 after I guess it was an over the fence home run.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked like it.
4 lead has been
Fly
cut.
ball to center field. Yeah, back in it. So anyway, but let's do some sponsors, and then we're going to talk some hoops with our buddies who are waiting in the green room. The MVP sponsors of LowcoSports. We got Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports, and my wife. She's with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry. She'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco or upgrade to a bigger, better place in the Lowco. Great time to get in the market with Megan Jarrett, official realtor of LowcoSports. Homegrown Home Inspections is our official home inspector. Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the biz. And if you're building a new home, you got to have the phased inspection where Homegrown Home Inspections will check on it every step of the way and make sure it's built right. Hospice Care, the Lowcountry, our official hospice provider, the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County, providing palliative care, hospice care, free grief counseling, and much more over at Hospice Care, the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. And the Mickelson Law Firm, our official real estate closing attorney, our Hilton Head Christian Academy presenting sponsor, and our original sponsor since 2017. Mickelson Law Firm been supporting us, so please support them when you have legal needs. Those are our MVP sponsors. And now we're going to talk some hoops with Alex Percival and Robbie B. What's up, fellas?
Hello.
Percival, you're muted, buddy. Got yourself muted. Oh, I had you muted apparently. I don't know. I got you unmuted now.
Can you hear me now?
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Yeah, I got you. But welcome, gentlemen.
Come on, dude.
We
good.
Robbie B is old head.
Old head.
And Alex
Old
Percival is event organizer. I see. Alex organizing the Lowcountry Legacy, which people definitely know about by now if they've been watching our show. But it is time. It's go time. It's coming up this weekend. We're strapping it on Friday night. With a great slate on Friday night at the Hardyville Rec Center, which Robbie B is very familiar with. How excited are you, man? It's tournament week.
Yes, the time is upon us. We're finally here. It seemed like the year flew by, because you knew from offhand I started this in January. So now that we're in July and the week of, it's crazy, but it's amazing. I'm excited for sure.
Time is upon us. I cannot wait to come out there and cover this event. But give me a rundown of the teams playing and kind of what you're expecting as you get ready for this second annual event here in the Lowcountry. And I'm just pumped to head over there in a couple of days.
So team wise, we have Ridgeland, Hardyville High School, Jasper County, the old Jaguars. Who else? We got Estill Gators, the old Estill Gators, green and yellow, Wade Hampton, team out of Georgia, so comprising of, Savannah, Statesboro, Claxton, all in between, and Bluffton as well. So representing Beaufort County.
Nice.
Yeah. Game 1 on Friday night, going to have the Battle of the Jags, Jasper County against Ridgeland Hardyville. And then game 2 going to be Wade Hampton versus Bluffton, rematch of last year's championship game. Do you have any insight into rosters? Do you know? Because you had custom jerseys, right? They got names on them and stuff. Do we know who else get in the mix?
You'll see some familiar faces from last year, but there are some new additions coming in this year. By name, I would not have the name right here off top, but I would definitely urge you and encourage you to to come out and see, because we've been going viral on social media left and right, especially with the uniforms that we have this year, custom made by my guy, One Wooch here in Atlanta, Georgia. He's coming down, so he'll be able to. We got it pulled up. Look at you.
There we go. There's your uniforms.
Yeah.
Look how dope
And
these are.
by the way, not to toot my own horn, but I designed 4 or 5 out of all 6. So me and my creative director, we came together and brought it to life. But those are majority my designs.
I want a couple of those. I want a Gators one for sure. That thing's dope. Look at that.
The Gators. Oh my goodness.
Tell me more about those jerseys and what the inspiration was for those designs and how you went about the process of getting those fresh jerseys made for this event.
To be honest with you, Wes, and excuse me if there's a little lag as well. I hope you guys can hear me, but okay. But to be honest with you, Wes, I knew with this being my event and with this being in the Lowcountry, I wanted to do something to set us apart from any other event, basketball event, regardless of what sport. But I wanted us to stand out. I wanted us to look good while we're playing, while we're putting on for a good cause. And quality, I don't like sacrificing quality. So, I like to look good myself personally. So I want everybody that's going to be involved in something that I'm putting on to reciprocate that as well. So, man, it's really crazy how it's all coming together. But everything is definitely looking and moving where it's supposed to.
All right, fellas. If Vegas was putting odds out, what do we got? Like, who are our big time performers we're looking for this weekend?
Well, I mean, Hampton is the defending champ, and they were the class of the thing last year. I mean, like they were the best team. Like they outplayed everybody. Stephen Walker, big time player. Easy Money Peoples, big time player. My guy Ford. I can't think of the rest of his name, but I know they call him Ford. He's tough. They got a tough squad coming out of Hampton.
In terms of the age ranges for this, Alex.
Oh man,
yeah. Sure.
What are you looking at? Mostly the younger, like is there a lot of younger guys, or are we going to see a lot of those older players from, decade past that are
wide range?
Just
wide
in terms
range.
of wide range of ages.
Everybody, tell them just everybody.
I mean, Hampton last year had Isaac Gray,
and
who had just graduated and was going to Spartanburg Methodist, and a bunch of dudes who were in their mid-30s.
He's an alumni, technically.
Dudes in their mid-30s. Like they had everybody out there.
Yeah. And I also have a surprise for you guys too. I also have a surprise for you guys.
What's that?
I have
like a day of surprise, you mean?
Unveiling of this. No, like right now, surprise.
Okay, what do we got?
Surprise.
So we are officially unveiling the 2024 championship trophy on LowcoSports right now.
Oh snap!
Oh yeah!
Oh nice!
All right. All right.
And every winner also gets a medallion too.
Oh yeah! Look at that.
Every winner gets a medallion as well.
Nice. Sweet.
Good stuff.
It's going to be an awesome event. I'm sadly going to miss it. I'll be coaching baseball out of town this weekend. Pretty bummed about it, but counting on you guys to keep me filled on what goes down. But Robbie, back to your question. Hampton was really good last year, but Bluffton was strong.
Okay.
They had Jermaine Patterson out there, draining threes. Kevin Gonzalez, real throwback, was out there. They had a bunch of dudes: Andrew Thompson, Lewis Black, or Lewis Brown. All kinds of people from back in the day. It was like a who's who of old school Bluffton. And then Tyrese Simmons was playing for the Jags, one of the Jags teams That would be the more modern Jags team.
The
right?
modern, yeah.
The modern Jags, along with like Joe Manda Smalls and some old school people, but not as old school as Alex and his gang. For the old Jasper County High School. You guys had some dudes.
Yeah.
From back in the day. Had to.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this quick question.
Yeah, we have a new addition this year is Tyree Jenkins.
Nice. We got any Butler boys on the squad yet? Oh, Alex is lagging on us.
I believe Devin is playing.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
I know those guys well. I just missed seeing them in high school, but I followed them throughout their years in college and got talked to them a few times on the show. So that's cool to see Devin back there, but really, really exciting to have such a great mix of ages. You talked about some of those young guys, but also, some guys in their mid-30s who we have seen, grow and star many years ago and now come back to be key pieces of these teams, which I think is really cool for especially guys like yourself, Justin, and Alex as well, who have known these guys for a long time, and now you kind of get to see them return, and it's kind of like a all-star.
It's like a class reunion. That's but like multiple classes. It's so cool. It's so fun, man.
And for the area.
Yeah, for like the whole area. It's
celebration.
I can't wait for it to continue to grow. And for real, we got to get Hilton Head involved. We got to get Buford involved. We got to get.
I have a question about how it all gets put together, right? So, I'm thinking the TBT, which is another one of those. It's a college-based tournament and a lot of the teams are based around colleges. Like, are you naming captain or something so they can go put their squads together, or is it just more organic, or how's that work?
Yeah, so I'm electing GMs / captains.
Okay.
All right.
And then they go about assembling their own squad.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes, so they assemble their own squad within their counties and become their own teams.
Yeah. So the most important thing is that someone must deny this Georgia team. We cannot let this Georgia team come over here and win the Lowcountry Legacy Tournament. Somebody got to beat them. So make sure we take care of that business. But I like Hampton, but I do think there was a little bit of an advantage for Hampton last year, where they kind of prepped for it a little more. Like some were a little more casual about it the first year. I don't think nobody's going to be casual this time. I think everybody's coming for casual in round 2. Everybody's coming for blood this time. These rosters are going to be well constructed.
No, for sure. They're already talking junk, man. It's going to be so competitive. So it's going to be awesome.
That's the fun part of it. These guys will take it seriously. I mean, it's more than just a pickup game. I mean, there's pride playing for your school. I mean, there's just a built-in pride in that sense. So, I mean, you expect to see some competitive games. Hope we get to see close, tight games that go down to the wire in this tournament, and it's going to be a really fun atmosphere. I expect to see a great turnout. We get things going on Friday night and then into Saturday,
Yeah.
But the thing about this tournament, it's more than just the basketball. You're doing so many great things to support some causes. We have a back to school drive and some other initiatives to help support the community. So if you want to fill us in on what you're doing this year to help support the Lowcountry at large.
Yeah, like you said, Wes, we're community focused and community first organization. And just me personally, I enjoy and I thrive off giving back to those who've given to me and rewarded me as I grew. And I feel like, this is something that the community needs. And I don't mind being the person who spearheads or just be a part of what's our. I'm freezing up, but yeah, honestly, we're looking at doing the back to school supplies. We're raising awareness on mental health, raising awareness on gun violence, gun safety, and just wanting to provide resources for those who need them at this event. and that way it can be, a easy transition, and they can seek the help or just the knowledge and information that they need to live a better life and be better people.
Amen to that. Yeah. And I know that is no small part of this. Like you put this together. Your idea was to bring us together around basketball and bring the community back together. But the purpose was always bigger than that. It was always more about the advocacy and the opportunity to reach an audience and speak truth. So credit to you for keeping that part real, and we definitely want to make sure we give you a chance to do justice to that part of it. But I guess along those lines, your idea is just that instead of being out, getting into trouble, getting into situations, let's foster this environment through sports, whether it's, this is a great event, but it also provides opportunities. Sports, we all believe that sports are a vehicle to keep kids, focused on the right things or focused on positive and productive things. So I guess speak a little bit to that and your belief in that in the world at large.
Yeah. Of course. I feel like you said, sports is a bridge between so many different sides, because if we can come together, strangers can come together and cheer for their team and cheer, high five and hug, in that type of atmosphere. Why can't we do it intentionally? Why can't we put on something that encompasses everything that we live by, but also that we enjoy doing?
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, sports.
I feel like with the kids, they're the most influential part of this because, and you got to think of the name. That's why I use the word legacy, because that's what it's really all about. It's about building that legacy and keeping it going forward. It's always going to be something that we're going to be doing in the community. This is not last time we'll be doing something like this. It's going to branch out bigger than a basketball tournament. I have a lot of different things, and my family and everybody else involved, we're going to put on something more for the Lowcountry, but also maybe do something abroad as well in other areas. So, but yes, the kids, we have face painting that's going to be out there. We have snow cones. We're going to have back to school items, everything that we can possibly think, a DJ, thinking of everything that we can possibly think of to bring these kids out to have a good time and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, building that legacy. That's all about getting the kids involved. That's what you want to do, and just expose them to what it looks like when you put in the work on the basketball court and in the classroom, and giving the back to school supplies too. That's important. You have to perform well academically to get those opportunities to play at the higher levels. So that's what it's all about. Love
Steve
that
Walker.
This and just giving the example to be set for these adults and alumni of these schools here around the Lowcountry to provide that blueprint for the kids and the next generations to come. So love to see that, and really cool that you have taken the initiative to put an event like this. And I agree, it's going to extend just beyond basketball. It's going to extend other sports and beyond. It's going to extend to community-wide events that will continue to really represent the essence of what it means to be part of this Lowcountry family and to have and see the support from everybody coming together and uniting as one big group and just providing that difference, making that difference with all those initiatives you talked about to make our community even better. So proud of you for taking this on, and I expect it to be a big time success and something that will carry over and provide ripple effects into the years to come and for generations to come, especially with these kids, seeing what it takes to be in those shoes of those alumni. So really awesome. Can't wait to cover it. But sure. Robbie, it's summertime and we still got a lot of stuff going on in terms of high school basketball players, current high school players, with AAU ball and everything else that's going on. So give us a rundown of what's been happening this summer on the basketball scene.
Oh, gosh. Well, the girls' side's fairly consolidated, and with the H2 program, and there's a couple little smaller ones around that kind of service more of a development feature. But the H2 girls have done well. They got out there. They were out there in Raleigh last weekend, and they went 3-1. And that's sort of your who's who of the 27 class around here, which is the next big one on the girls' side. The boys, which is like PJ, Benson, Amira, Brown, all those kids, right? And now what looks to be, there's a lot of cross girls basketball kids on that team, so they're going to be nice this year. But Beaufort basketball looks to have a resurgence in the next couple of years on the girls' side. I think they look fairly nice. Whale Branch as well. Actually, there's a couple kids at Whale Branch Middle who are pretty nice. So there's definitely more happening there on the boys' side. It's been more of the same. There's been some movement. Harrison Skinner's at Bluffton now, so they've looked good in a lot of the. They would look good in the South Carolina Coaches Association live period stuff in June, as well as a lot of them are playing the little jamboree stuff. Hampton, all them, they got out there and we're playing the jamboree stuff. There's a major movement in the area. I'm not exactly sure who the kid is related to in the Harpring family, but Hilton Head Prep has pulled off a transfer once again, which is related to Matt Harpring.
Oh,
yeah. So that could change, and he's on the Puma circuit, so that could change things immeasurably in the area, right?
Does he like to run Princeton?
I don't know. I mean, he seems like a disciplined enough kid. He sort of fits the mold of the other kids who've transferred there, but I'm not 100% sure what level he's on right now. JP2 looks pretty good this year. Yeah, they got the big kid, and then so like the area it's coming together. I think there's like 5 or 6, 7 AAU teams on the boys' side, so it's very fractured. There's not really anything that's elite running out there at high levels. I know there's a couple out for the live period this week, which
a lot of kids playing, which is good.
There's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids playing. I think there's levels to it, right? What we really could use, which kind of goes to Alex's greater, legacy point for the area, is more infrastructure at the lower levels, because it's hard to go. I mean, the H2 girls run really at the highest level boys or girls around here, and it's just hard to sustain that unless you're getting to them really young. Yeah. I mean, it's really hard, or it gets very far flung, and then there gets to be less development and less practice time. Yeah. Because there's so many kids having to, travel so far to get there. So I think the real goal is moving forward is to get kids on the floor in these off months and summers and have more programming for them, really, because at that point, it's not about running, man. I mean, it's not about getting out there and playing meaningless stuff. It's about getting in the gym. And there's a lot of kids who are running in the area who should be in the gym and not worrying about the tournaments. And we should have more structure here to get them better so they're ready to go play better stuff.
Right. Like, you get better by playing, but only if you know what you need to be focused on. Only if you're focusing on the little things that matter when you're playing. Like, if you're just going out and playing for the sake of playing, that doesn't alone make you better.
Well, and you've seen it with the 24 girls on the H2 side. They all ended up signing and or off at college. Our last one was like a month ago to Augusta. And the thing there is it's changed. The whole process has changed since the portal, since COVID, all that kind of stuff. So really, it's harder to even get seen on the road right now because it's just distracting. There's so much stuff. And then when you're looking at the colleges and the coaches, they treat it as a glorified happy hour on the AD's budget. So what you have to do is be proactive in the gym and development. And then you also have to, establish what you're trying to get out of the sport and then actively work towards it consistently on your own, and that's another thing, more kids need to work on their own in the area, but we just need to give them better access. That's like what the Lowcountry legacy thing is going to be about, really, is providing for the area, through the greatness of basketball and bringing people together so that we can get the next generation with their hands in the dirt and doing the right stuff.
Amen, brother. Takes a bunch of like-minded people to get it done. Alex, did you get your referee squared away, or do we need to make an emergency plea tonight for referees?
Everything's copacetic.
We had to jump
through.
into Big Mac came through. We had to jump into kind of emergency mode today and make some phone calls and make sure Alex had referees, but we got it squared away. That's good to know.
Nice. Alex, just for clarification purposes, so we have the schedule where we have a couple games Friday, then some more on Saturday,
That's
and then
pool
the
play.
bracket after that to determine
Yeah.
the champion. How does that work after we play through the seeding games?
Pool and bracket.
Yep. Double elimination, and then after everyone plays 2 games, then they'll be seeded based on that. We'll see who's left after those first 6 games.
So if you lose your 2 pool games, you're out. Is that what you're saying? Or is everybody going into the bracket after those 6 games?
You're out.
So 2 losses elimination.
So 2 losses, you're out.
Right.
So we're weeding you out in pool play, and then anybody who's doesn't have 2 losses yet will go into the bracket after that. Okay, I got you.
Only the elite makes it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to fool around. If you go 0-2, we don't need to watch you play again.
I got. This is a real deal question. What is running time in these games? What are we playing? Like 32, 40? What?
20-minute halves.
Okay. All right. So with double elimination, you have good insurance for these fellas, right? You get to your 3rd and 4th game with a bunch of old heads. Well, yeah, right.
I would suggest that I suspect that the rosters may be a little more beefed up this year, because some tried to roll in here with like 8 or 9 dudes, and they barely had 5 that could walk by the end of the day. So I think people will definitely have a little bit deeper rosters this year.
Oh man. I mean, we live that life on the road. You get to your 4th game and people don't know where they are.
Now imagine that they're 45 and weigh 100 pounds more than the last time they played competitive basketball.
Yeah.
For sure. It's going to be competitive for sure. And I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, my host has a few surprises and a few costumes he's wearing this year too. So he's going to be giving the crowd a good laugh. To say the least.
Nice.
All right. Well, I got to make sure somebody gets there with a camera to make sure that I get to see at least some highlights from this.
Yeah, I'll be there Friday night and try to get there for some of the games on Saturday as well. So I'm excited. It should be some great basketball. And, as someone who has been here for bits and pieces, I'll try to see if somebody can fill in the gaps for me a bit and get some roster information for me. But
you'll get a history lesson if you
I got you.
sit and listen. Definitely. UTEP going to be there? The infamous UTEP guy?
Yeah, he's slated to be there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was there last year. I always get a kick out of him. But, well, hey, man, anything else before we let you go for the night to set the stage?
Who's the favorite? Who's the favorite in your eyes of this tournament?
Oh, please. That's all I ask.
Robbie, who you got?
Please.
Savannah. 100% I got Savannah.
I don't know, man. Anybody but Savannah. Come on.
I didn't say I was cheering for Savannah.
Savannah's coming.
They're going to come, correct? They're going to come try to.
They're going to come. You just named like the heaviest areas that have produced players in Savannah.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm counting on Hampton.
That's literally you're like, yeah, we're going to take on Hinesville. Okay.
I wonder what Estel's got though. I'm
that's
interested
true.
to see what Estel's got.
That's true.
That'd be fun. They might bring back a bunch of
It's
Kayvon
gonna be
and
nice.
Marvin
Ooh,
and all those
that'd be
guys.
fun. Now, so that would be that would even it up.
Yeah, that would be very interesting if they brought them guys out. But we'll see what goes down. But I'm telling you, there's some dudes out there that people have forgotten about that just kept getting bigger and stronger after high school that can
Oh, for
straight
sure.
go.
For sure.
It is fun to watch. Someone went into the military or something, or and they're jacked, and you're like, dang
Yeah.
man, you were like a skinny little guard, and now you're a dude.
Now they get that old heads game where they go high off the glass and stuff like that. Yeah, man.
I tell you,
That'd be good.
the Hampton boys can bang it from 3. They can let it fly.
I'm into it. I'll be up there Saturday for sure.
You're gonna enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun. Yeah. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
All right,
Come out
Percival.
there. Glad to have you, Robbie.
Yeah, man. Good time, good cause. I'm all about it.
Absolutely. Hey, man, we appreciate you, and
Awesome.
we'll
Thank you, guys.
get up with you when you get in town tomorrow, brother.
All right. Y'all take care. Have a good night.
Good night.
See you, man.
Take it easy out.
Internet gremlins are out in ATL tonight. They were dragging our boy Alex down, but no, this is going to be a great event. It was a lot of fun last year. I'm really sad that I'm going to miss it and jealous that you guys get to take it in. But Percival's awesome. Got up with him when we were up in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and always great to chat with him. And so cool how we just kind of happened upon each other at a basketball game, Hampton at Ridgeland. And he's like, "Oh, you with LowcoSports?" And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of am LowcoSports." And he was like, "Oh, I've been meaning to get in touch with you." And the rest is history. So excited for this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's shout out the MVP sponsors or the varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, go to ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties and jumped on board with us to continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowcountry. Dr. Ambrose Cole is our official chiropractor of LowcoSports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. Take your skills on the mat to the next level at Reverence Wrestling Club. Those are our varsity sponsors. Hilton Head Ozone still up 7-4, top of the 6th. So getting close to closing it out. Robbie.
Yep.
Wanted to get your thoughts on some more basketball coaching hires in the area. A couple more.
Excellent.
With May River bringing in Kyle Bennett coming in from Kentucky. Pretty good track record as both the coach and an AD. And then Terry Kicks, who we've gotten to know through her relationship with Coach Versip over at USCB, coming in as the girls coach. And I was just thinking about this the other day. So Coach Gabriel came in last year at Bluffton. New girls coach CJ there this year. Both turned over at May River.
Yep.
Both turned over at Cross last year.
Yeah.
Boys turned over at JP2 a couple years ago. Girls have been there for a good while, but man, we've turned over, and JP2 technically not in Bluffton, but we have turned over all the coaches in
Battery Creek
Bluffton.
Girls has changed.
And Battery Creek Girls as well. But in Bluffton especially, we've flipped them all over in a very short time. So the landscape is and then Hilton Christian both changed too, right? So
absolutely, yeah.
Wow, the landscape has completely changed in one off season.
Yeah, no, it definitely has. And then I think so. Beaufort County's is hamstrung, right? You have to work in the county, in the school district in order, and so with that being said, obviously we've talked CJ in the past, so that's kind of a miraculous hire there. And she just had the fact that she's there and was there already is crazy. Now the JV coach over at Bluffton last year is now the Battery Creek's girls head coach. So I think that was just a change of culture thing. It wasn't necessarily reflective of, who she is as a coach. It was just sort of like, hey, The Lonnie thing's been going on for some period of time. We're just going to do something a little different, right? So it's good to see, someone who's been giving back to the area for so long get a shot. And May River, right? May River, they've got experience now.
I like Coach Kicks a lot. I got to talk with her the other couple of weeks ago. We had a meet and greet. Really impressed. She seems like a get to work kind of coach who can do a good job putting players in the right spot. And just having that collegiate experience, I think, is big. That's important. I think
it's an interesting hire. I mean, like, the end of the day, everyone loves her. She's a very skilled
high energy.
High energy, skilled X's and O's kind.
She embraces what she does, and she enjoys.
Absolutely. And she was at River Ridge, and the folks who at River Ridge loved her, and so there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. But again, it's a public with what the talent base is. The talent base, so that's just sort of going to be incumbent upon her to create the culture, create enthusiasm, and same with the May River boys. I mean, one of their better kids ended up at Bluffton, is on Bluffton's team this year. So that's one of those things where the cupboard's fairly bare over there for a school of that size. So they really they needed that teacher. They needed that development. They need those kind of folks who are savvy, that also have energy, that'll, start to increase the programming. That's been the best thing about June. So no joke. And I think I got a little bit polarizing in this area because I just called everyone out every June for not doing anything, right? Like we effectively take over at the end of February and go till June, and then we're supposed to leave them in the scholastic program's hands all of June so that they can train up and be part of the school programs, and that's wonderful. Happy to do it, and I would prefer it to be that way. But there wasn't a lot of them taking advantage of the opportunity in the past. Now, when you go over the bridge to Savannah, every single program is working every single day of June. So that's where you see, like, when we're talking about the Lowco legacy, that there's a discrepancy in how they prioritize over there and how often they get in the gym. So what's happened over the last 3 years, and I'd like to take a small amount of credit with just hazing them on your little platform here, Justin, is there's a lot of people working now. There's a lot of coaches that are understanding that June's important, and they can put their systems in June, and they can see what the younger kids look like, and that's an 8th grader I didn't know existed, or a 9th grader that could actually, or has some size or whatever. So I think there's definitely way more programs that did stuff. I mean, this past
seemed like it. I saw a lot of people talking about going to team camps and, things like that, which is great. I mean, that's
I think in the past, man, the entire area would send like 1 or 2 teams to team camps. JP2 girls used to go to team camps with regularity. I don't think they did this year. Cross girls went to team camp this year, and I think they're the only one in the area who did, as far as I know. But CJ in Bluffton, they're young, so they opted. It's not that they didn't know to do it or didn't want to do it. It's just more a matter of, hey, we're going to get in the gym and do our thing and be very,
well, yeah, that's fine. Regular. I mean, if you need to put in fundamental stuff, I mean, again, it's kind of like you said earlier, you don't need to be out running if you're not ready to run. Same thing with the team camp. If you got stuff that you can do at home, then just take care of it at home.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely some young talent in the area at this point. I mean, you saw some of it last year. The couple kids showed up at JP2, but there's a kid going to Hilton Head High School. Well, he's in Hilton Head Middle. He's dominated Hilton Head Middle for the last 3 years. Kieta Smith is a problem, bro. I mean, he's a problem. He's about 6'5" now. He's 14U for the Upward Stars, and he's kind of their go-to guy. He'll punch it on you. He'll bang a 3 on you. He plays sort of angry. And, everyone loves him. He's like the best thing to come out of middle school on the boys' side in a minute. So, there's definitely some up-and-comers that are going to change the landscape a little bit. And, there's just more people working and more people caring about it. There's definitely more programming, than ever before, more training going on at a bunch of different, places. And that's the thing. If everyone could get on the same page, then it would be more of a academy style system, like why you see Europe. Europe, why are you seeing the fundamentals and all those folks? Now look, it's not like Team USA is not Team USA, right? And they play in like 45 minutes or something. But at the end of the day, you do see Europe coming, and the reason they're coming is because of the way they train and their systems. And around here, there's just, like I said, there needs to be more local programming. And once we get that, then everything falls in line from there, because you just have kids who are in the gym playing and enjoying it and having fun. And that's good for everything in the area. It's good for parents. It's good for grades. It's good for all of it. So discipline, time management. So that's sort of what, that's what like the end goal is of sport and anything, right? I mean, so for me, I think the area is going to be very interesting this year because it's young.
Yeah,
I was talking about this.
The girls' side, it seems like with 24's gone, it's a new change of the guard.
Yeah.
It's a newer Hilton Christian Academy, which has been
all the stars are going to be sophomores.
Right?
Yeah,
that makes it fun though. It makes it fun. You get some new faces and some new.
Oh, it'll be super interesting. And it was very funny because that was one of the things we've dealt with a little bit this year with the 27s on H2. They're all the who's who, and they know it. And they have their own little perceptions of who they are and how they play, and they're prickly with each other, but they're also best friends and teammates. And like this weekend, it was all about the extra pass, which is why we dominated. When it gets to be less about the extra pass, it gets to be more like hero ball, and it's kids feeding their own egos, and that's not what we're trying to do around here in general anymore. Like I always say it, like gassing kids up doesn't work, because then when they get out on the road, they get crushed. And I don't mean like in the game, I mean mentally.
Yeah, right.
Like they spent their whole lives being told they're something they are not.
Right.
And then when the bubble bursts, then they love the game less.
Right.
And so if you're just real with them and say this is what it is the whole way, and you just kind of meet that standard at every step, then you have good rec ball, you have good 3-on-3 FIBA style stuff locally, you have all this stuff that you can choose from, and you can choose to, hey, I just want to be a good high school kid, so I can do all this stuff locally. Hey, I want to play in college, but it's not that important. So I want to play some travel, but I'm not trying to get all over the world. And then you can find elite programs, right? So the goal is to meet everyone where they are moving forward, because it's just so segmented,
Right.
And
that's exactly how I feel about baseball and softball in the area.
Interesting.
Almost exactly. I mean, it's like there's a lot going on, and a lot of it's good. Most of it's good.
Sure.
But could it all be better? Yes.
Well,
absolutely.
and I think I spent too much time when I was setting up the H2 thing. Sort of, we were going to set our culture and do what our standard was going to be. But the reality of it is that it wasn't until really this past year when the 24s aged out and that they all got to college and did what they wanted to do, and the 27s now have been out there for such a period of time that they know their setup moving forward.
Yeah.
Especially with the platform and all that kind of stuff. But what really, there's just still like classes that don't have anything. There's still like kids who are afraid to get in the gym. And because here's the thing, H2 is not a program that you just show up at if you're like trying to learn basketball. And that's a great sadness for me. It's not because we don't teach it well. It's because who wants to get in a switch with Devin? And the kids literally don't come because they don't want that.
Yeah.
And so
that's a good point.
Yeah, we need to have programming where they don't have to see that until they're ready to see that. And then also we need to have programming where the Devons get pushed every day so that they are D1 kids.
More players pushing each other, because that gets it.
I mean, not everything's the same. There's levels to it, and there should be, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
But the only way you accomplish levels that aren't just conflicting and flying in each other's face is to actually get on the same page and have all the people who literally are the tastemakers get together and say, enough's enough. Like, we have 3,000 boys in this area who play basketball, and there's there's 4 good ones, and they're all on different teams. Like, what's wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
So anyway.
There's definitely layers to it, levels to it.
For sure. For sure.
And that's important. Like, getting people on the right level and progressing through the levels. That's how it's got to kind of work.
And it's not just a privatized thing. It's rec, right? Like, having access to Bluffton rec.
Right. And then, like, keeping your rec programs good enough that your better players will still play is, like, a super important thing. Like, the more you can keep your best players in your rec programs, the better it's going to make your whole league, no matter the sport. But like, in order to, it's such a delicate balance to do that, to cater to the rec player who has no experience, and this is the place for them to learn about the game, and the kid who's already been out playing club sports or whatever, who's like on a level. It's a really hard thing to bring those together. But if you can find a way to do it, that is where it's at, because that's where the kid actually gets to see their peer doing it. And it connects some dots.
Just like little things, guys, that every other area that is successful, developing and getting exposure for young basketball players. I mean, there's a fall ball league.
Yeah,
that's very.
There's the fall ball league. Like, your head coaches can't coach it, but you can have an assistant out there, and everyone gets together and they bump. But here's the thing, man, that grows the basketball community, because not everyone's so ugly towards each other.
I remember Rochester.
Ozone really survived 7-6. Oh
yeah, they did.
Ooh, close.
The 12 and unders. Yeah, they had the bases loaded 7-5, and they got out of it. Whew. So they stay alive, and there'll be a drawing to see who gets to go, who gets to bye tomorrow. So they're in some sort of 3-team playoff for the championship tomorrow, at least. So they get a shot.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It was quite
awesome.
The exciting outburst. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, Hilton Head, it woke me up. So Hilton Head, both 10U and 12U survived to the championship round tomorrow. So we'll tell you about that later this week when we get together. What was I going to say, Robbie? I was going to ask you about something else. And now I've lost it.
Yeah.
But the baseball is going down. Hilton Head gets the win, 7-6. I had a great time with the 8 and under baseballers this week, Robbie. It was like I know the basketball. Justin. I know the AAU basketball stuff is crazy, but yeah, you called me while I was out there. It's pretty intense at 8U baseball.
Oh, it was loud, man. It was literally loud midday in 150-degree heat.
Oh man, we had, like, by that point, I think when you called me was when like both the teams from the other field had finished their game. They had come over. Everyone had joined together in rooting for Blythewood against Hilton Head. It was very intense. There was banging on seats and banging on coolers and everything else, and chanting going back and forth. It was an unreal environment for 8U baseball. But yeah, you got to listen in on it.
Yeah, no, it was enjoyable for sure. And what's crazy is I do feel like the area does pretty well in those things historically.
We do.
Yeah.
No, we're solid. Our baseball is solid.
And it seems like Hilton Head is pretty organized. Like
they're very organized. They have a very sound program where if you play on their travel team, the Hurricanes, you're required to play in their rec league. As we mentioned, keep their best players in their rec league. And what that does is basically they take a team out on the road all year, and that becomes their all-star team. And sometimes they have kids from other towns on the Hurricanes team. They play in the rec league. They're not eligible for all-stars, so they have to do something there. But it does position them really well in the all-star tournaments because they've got a team that's really kind of been playing together all
Right.
year that goes into the All-Stars and has a rapport. Bluffton kind of mimicked that for a few years, and then it kind of drifted away a little bit, but now it's coming back.
Right.
And now the Bluffton Waves this year will have 8 and under, 9 and under, 10 and under, 11 and under, 12 and under, 13 and under, and 14 and under teams for the first time. That'll be the most teams we've ever fielded in 1 year. And the majority of those kids will still be playing rec in Bluffton, which should elevate our programs a good bit.
Yeah, that's more time on the field,
Yeah, just getting reps. Getting quality coaching, getting reps.
Oh, always difficult, man. Always difficult. I mean, for us, it's gyms. I mean, it's
right.
Yeah,
fields for us.
I mean, being real with you, Beaufort County, and I'm going to throw some shade here. The way the cost of their gyms to rent is non-kid friendly. It just isn't. Like they charge you for HVAC in Beaufort County for their gyms. I mean, that's just saying they don't want to rent them, and that's fine. But they're there to be rented.
That's exactly what they're saying.
That's what they're saying with that. And hey, look, we're making it cost prohibitive, but at the same time, it's sort of like, hey, again, this is.
I'm hoping that will continue to. I've heard there's been improvement on that front, and I hope that will continue to improve. With some new faces.
And so that also gets to be part of the other problem of the landscaping in the area. If the privates are the only one allowing kids access, right, and then that you get that slippery slope there. So I think really for the whole area, it gets to be, like we said, it's about rec, it's about the Publix, it's about the private. All of them have to be kids first. All of them have to be kids first and development first.
Yeah, no petty stuff.
Nah.
We got to drop the petty stuff. That's stupid.
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense for kids.
Well, hey boys, we're getting down to it. So let's shout out the Lowco Booster Club, and then we'll do some parting thoughts and call it a night. The Lowco Booster Club supports us, so please support them. We got the Court Lifestyle Pros. Daniel and Debbie Court are Lowco natives with Charter One Realty who want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. We got Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Go in for great conversation and come out looking stylish at Jay's Barbershop in downtown Ridgeland. Eagle Creations, they have promotional items and custom apparel and all kinds of other cool stuff. They also are the host of our Lowco Swag Shop, where you can get some cool new Lowco gear we just dropped. I'm going to drop the link in the comments as usual. If you want to get a hat or a shirt and rep the Lowco, check out our swag shop through Eagle Creations, Lowco Booster Club sponsor. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Chris Odom and his team are the best in the biz. And Hudson Seafood on the Docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus, which reminds me, I got to release the new episode of Under the Bus. It's ready to go. Got to get that one out tonight. So tune in right after this. We'll do a live premiere right after this, and you can watch Under the Bus if you want to check it out. Hear what Curry Kirkpatrick, Rich Basirico, and Bob Stevens have to say about the world of sports. But that's our Lowco Booster Club. Wes and Rob, any parting thoughts before we call it a night?
Yeah, and this is really cool for me because we get to see a homecoming coming up starting next year from a guy that was one of my favorite players to cover ever at Beaufort High School, and now he's coming back to Lowco. That's Zach Talbert. He's going to be a USCB Sand Shark, tremendous football and baseball player who, was specializing on the baseball team, but made some big impacts on that state championship football team as well for the Beaufort Eagles. Now he's coming home to be a part of Sand Shark Nation. So I am really excited. Tremendous athlete, tremendous kid, just great all-around guy, and talented player out there in the field who is a multi-tool player, just has a great head on his shoulders, great competes, and just love watching him play in the sport. And I'm so psyched to see him wear a Sand Shark uniform, to see another local grown product compete for USCB.
Yeah, he gave me a heads up a few days ago that was coming. He said, I got a little surprise for you all, and I guessed what it was. And he said, shh, don't say anything. And then he posted it, and we've been chatting back and forth, and he's really excited. He's excited about the direction of the program, really feels like they're going to be more competitive, and is excited to be a part of it. And then he's also excited. He may cover some high school football for us in the fall. If he can manage his schedule well enough. I said, man, you're going to be out at the games on Friday night. You know you are. I know you know how to shoot a little video. So let's get you out there and be part of this thing. But yeah, I'm excited for Zach. That's great to see him coming home. And we're always talking about we'd love to see a little more local flavor on that USCB baseball roster. And it's great to see somebody get a shot here. So, Robbie, you got any closing thoughts for us?
Just good luck to all of the travel basketball programs. It is NCAA live period July, so we are smack dab and starts up again tomorrow. So I know the several programs are out right now and trying to, get some leveraged looks to where they can have some kids, maybe play at the next level and get some money for it, So
yeah.
Hopefully that's what this month's supposed to be. So hopefully luck shines upon the Lowcountry in that way. And looking forward to this weekend. I think that'll be a fun little get together.
Yeah.
Lowco.
It's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, it definitely will. I'm looking for. I feel like they're gonna have good eats there.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, last year they had a couple of food trucks out in the parking lot. So I think that's playing again.
Food trucks always hit. No matter what.
Food trucks always slap.
Yeah.
But you also got, Hardyville's got a few places to eat right there close by too. So, although Gwen and Franny's ain't open no more, so that's a real bummer. That place was banging. But you could run over to Fuzzy's Taco Shop.
There's a taco place like beyond Fuzzy's.
Yeah.
That's like apparently right there, right before you would duck on right after you duck on the 95 down there to the left.
Okay.
I don't know if that's real or not, but I was told that it's excellent.
Oh, I'm sure there's tons of really great Mexican places.
No, I mean, I was told, specifically told to go to this taco spot. So
I'm sure.
I have no idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
You just got to know the one. We'll see what we can find out. But all right. Well, yeah. So the plan is to have another show Friday night.
Okay.
But
we may have to push it to 10 because the local legacy tournament might go.
Or we could go Saturday night. I will be in Greenville for baseball this weekend, but I can make it work somehow, some way, as I have in the past. So we'll figure it out. But we'll be back with you one night this week to talk about the rest of these Diamond Youth Baseball state tournaments and whatever else comes our way. There's not a whole lot going on right now. We're in the slower period. Although we did have Legion baseball tonight too. Walterboro put it on Buford 18-2. So rough night for the Buford Ospreys. Walterboro looking good going into the playoffs.
Championships tomorrow.
Yep, All-Star Championships tomorrow. Hilton Head Blythewood in the 10 and under, and then we'll see who wins the draw and what happens with the 12 and under. But Hilton Head's in position to do that too. So. Thanks so much, Robbie B, for joining us, co-hosting with us tonight. Thanks to Alex Percival for joining us and for all he's doing with the Lowcountry Legacy Basketball Tournament. Awesome event. Get out there and support it Friday night, and then all day Saturday at the Hardyville Rec Center, which, Rob, great facility. Just a really nice spot.
Facility.
It's a gem.
Yeah,
it's going to be an awesome event. I assure you, whatever you imagine, it's going to be better than that, because it was awesome last year, and I know, Alex, it'll be even better this year. You can guarantee that. So get out there, enjoy it, and we'll see you either Friday or Saturday night here on the LowcoSports Lowdown. Thanks so much to our sponsors and all of you who showed up to listen or watch. For Rob Benson and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Lowco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.